Hi everyone, here's some commentary on a Benchmade 710 folding knife with the axis lock in D2 steel. You can go look up the specs on the Benchmade site, of course, but this is a knife that is close to 4 inches, but it's just a hair under, I'm sure for legal reasons. I have done a previous unboxing video on this one, so check that out. I have been carrying this around the house to some extent, so this is kind of an update on it. My continuing initial reaction to it, it's not a long-term user, and as many of you know who have been following me, many of my knives are ultimately collector's knives, but I have been using this one on boxes, packaging materials, that kind of stuff. What I would say so far is that I like this knife a lot. I'm pretty well impressed with it. I like it maybe more so than some of my other Benchmade knives. What I like about it is the traditional G10 handles on both sides. It's G10. It's not overly aggressive texture, but it's good enough. It feels very good to hold. I would classify this as a kind of a tactical folder. So if you had to use it in a defensive manner, then this might be a good one to do so with because of the longer blade, the fast deployment with the axis lock. And again, the axis lock is just kind of a mechanism that you can use with your thumb stud opener to flip it out quickly, and you can do so on both sides, meaning you can do it with both hands. Okay, hard to look at the camera and do that at the same time, but you get the point there. The pocket clip is pretty nice. It's actually a thicker clip than some of the other Benchmades I have, which that's kind of neat. It's very secure when clipped on. Of course, as always with all the Benchmades that I have, the pocket clip shows almost immediate wear. If you have it clipped into your pocket, you have some car keys, or even snaps on your jeans, little designed metal pieces of your jeans, that tends to rub off the Benchmade paint on the pocket clip right away. So the pocket clip is reversible. You can put it on both sides here. It is tip up carry, which I like, and you can't make it tip down carry. It has kind of a closed back design, which visually it looks nice. It's very smooth. Looks like a G10 backspacer closer. But if you're gonna be working in muddy or dirty environments, you're gonna get dirt that's gonna accumulate in the back of the blade there. Quality wise, the blade is perfectly centered. It deploys very smoothly, nicely. Very happy about that. If you saw my unboxing video, you saw that the out-of-the-box sharpness was okay. I evaluate that because when I buy a knife, I want something that's well manufactured and put together and is free of defects. So that's what I look for. I want all the parts working together. I want the blade to be sharp. What I have noticed is after using it a little bit, opening and closing it, the blade has begun to slightly wiggle, and based on past experience, wiggle side to side, not up and down. I just need to tighten this pivot. I'm sure that will fix it. I just haven't had time to dig out the tools yet. Not a big deal. I'm certain that's going to be easily self-fixable, and that's in line with most of the Benchmades that I have. The other cool thing on this knife is that it has a recurve blade, so you see the curve within the blade here. I actually don't have any other recurve blade knives, and so that's kind of fun. Add something to the collection. I think it does cut pretty well, and I will say that I wasn't a huge fan of the out of the box sharpness when I first got it, so I've actually already sharpened this thing, and I don't have a huge amount of time or issues sharpening it. The D2 is definitely more difficult to sharpen, more so in my opinion than the S30V. I seem to have gotten the S30V down. The part I'm having a little bit of issue with is this part right here down by the handle. That seems to be, for whatever reason, just a little bit difficult to sharpen. But I have fixed it up better than what it was when I received it. The blade is it's wearing pretty well. Just a little bit of sticky things on it. Didn't clean it up before this video. The D2 is nice. Just opinion and perception, right? But it definitely feels hard, and it's a thick piece of steel. Seems very durable. I don't have any concerns about chipping. All the D2 blades I've had have been very capable of getting a good sharp edge. So what I'd also say is that for the size of the blade, it again, almost 4 inches, a full cutting edge of 4 inches almost. I think it's like 3.91 something. Look it up again. But so that's cool. But what I like is, so I have maybe small to medium sized hands, is that the handle itself is not also, it's right the same length of the blade, so you don't have an extra long handle either. So, which I kind of like that. It makes it a little bit more pocketable, clippable, easy to carry, etc. It's not the lightest knife. Again, perception-wise, I don't feel like it's heavy, but it's not the lightest one out there. I'm going to do a comparison video on this with another knife coming up, and I think you'll know what I'll be doing. But stay tuned with that. The lanyard hole is a nice size here. It's probably hard to see with the lens I'm using, but right here you can fit a nice size paracord through there without any issues. It has steel liners on both sides that are skeletonized, meaning circles are drilled out in the steel. So I do consider this a heavy use tactical knife, and the handle, like I said, is not the largest of handles, and it's a great size for my hands, but I still feel like I get enough surface area to properly close the knife, which is maybe one of my complaints I had with that 707 sequel knife, also designed by the McHenry and Williams crew, which I think they do some great designs. I'm actually very happy with this knife. If you have any questions, anything like that, let me know. I would add on to say that while this is a very nice knife, I think I would probably prefer it in S30V. What else? I would say that's maybe the only thing I might change that I can think of right now. D2 is not bad, very hard, and it seems like a lot more knives are coming out with D2, but I think I would have preferred S30V only because I understand it better and I'm getting better at sharpening it. Love the recurve. It's just a really sweet design. I'm not too deterred by any potential sharpening issues. Also, if you're looking at getting this knife, be careful with your local knife laws. You may live in certain areas, not only states, but cities or counties that have limits on knife blade sizes. So that's something to look out for. For me, this is more of a around the house, around the property, work knife, utility knife, versus something I would carry every day. You certainly could. It's the right size. But the blade is a little bit too long, and that's one comment I would make as well for utility things, opening packages and taking tags off of clothes and stuff like that. It is a little long. You have to be extra careful. You could slip. So it's maybe not the best blade for general everyday utility EDC reasons. But again, so far, and this is probably a week to 2 weeks into owning the knife, I'm very happy with it. So far it's in the recommendation pile. I'd say it's in my top 1 to 3 favorite Benchmade knives at this point. I'll try to do a follow-up video on it. So I think that's all for this. Let me know if there's any questions, you want to see any comparisons, etc.